playing through contact, in my opinion, would probably be Dwayne Sutton. But even Dwayne missed a few that he got in the lane. Now, we don't expect guys to be perfect. Just want to be better.
Chris, you mentioned the turnovers after the last game. It's a trend you don't want to see keep going. Kent State has a pretty decent assist-turnover ratio, so how even more important is that going to be in this game to take care of the basketball?
I played them a year ago when I was at Xavier, and they really get after you. You know, I think we were in the bonus a year ago with 14 minutes left in the first half. So it sort of speaks to their aggressiveness, and that won't change tomorrow. So we have to use that against them. You know, we have to be able to backdoor them. We have to be able to still get the ball reversed. We have to be able to play through contact, not necessarily at the rim, but just getting to the spot we want with the dribble, with the pass, so that we can, you know, put them in foul trouble, or at least get us to the bonus. But playing through contact and handling their pressure is going to be a big key to the game tomorrow.
What about offensively, what they do offensively?
Play with a lot of freedom. They turn their defense, as I mentioned before, the turnovers that they're creating into offense. I think they have a 1-2 punch as good as any team that we've played all year with the two Jalens. Jalen Avery, who's from my hometown, Cincinnati, and played with his high school coach. He's got phenomenal assist-turnover ratio. I mean, as good as it gets in college basketball. And then Jalen Walker's averaging 25 points a game through 4 or 5 games that he's played. So we know we have our hands full with their backcourt, and we're going to have to do a really good job of making sure they're playing in the half court, not in transition.
What signs of progress have you seen in Jordan just from when you got here in April to now?
Immense. You know, you always want your players to be perfect, and it's not possible. But I've seen a change, at least. Again, he's not all the way there, but a change in terms of his mindset that I felt like when we first got here, he valued offense and just tolerated defense. And I don't see that Jordan anymore. I feel like a great thing has happened with Jordan, and that he feels accountable to his teammates, not to his coach or his coaching staff who's trying to guide him, but he feels accountable to his teammates. And when you're consistently getting beat or not giving the effort that you should, and you start to feel a little guilty because of those guys that you're going to war with, that's the greatest motivating factor that I think is hitting in between the eyes, and it's been great to see.
Do you feel like he's that go-to guy for you guys now on offense?
If the other coach is watching, no. He's an elite level scorer, and I want him to take really good shots. And I said this the other day that it's a lot more difficult sometimes for your leading scorer who's highlighted and circled on the scouting report, and they know every play that's being run for him, than it is for maybe a guy coming off the bench that's averaging 4 points a game to get a good look. So it's that fine line of making sure he's confident, but at the same time not overconfident and not casual with the balls. I've talked about for a long time with Jordan.
Are you pleased with how Okoye has stayed healthy? I know he's came in with a medical history. I know you guys wanted to make sure that he was good in January and February, but it seems like he's kind of
really
kept up with
pleased.
everything.
He's still he's not an everyday practice player. He takes more reps off than maybe anybody on the team, but my concern was being able to have him each and every game for whatever role we needed him to be in. And knock on wood, through 10 games so far so good. And in those moments where he's not physically practicing, he's out there talking. He's providing a voice. He's a really good leader. He's an incredible story. And so sometimes when a guy doesn't practice, they just sort of check out, and he doesn't do that. And that's a benefit to our team.
How well do you understand the new net standard for ratings, and will that influence your scheduling going forward?
I think all of those things, Tim, whether it's net, whether it's RPI, whether it's KP, Sagarin, all of them are pretty similar. It's, are you beating good teams, and are they playing good teams? And certainly I think the net is favors when you go on the road. I think that's shown. But all that stuff is are you willing to play people? you know, fortunately for us, you have 18 this year, 20 next year, where it's taken care of. We're gonna be the best conference in the country in college basketball. And then we're gonna do our part. We're gonna play UK every year. We're gonna be in the Big Ten ACC Challenge every year. And when we play those guarantee games, we're gonna play people that have a good chance to beat you. Lipscomb, Kent State. You know, we're not playing the teams that are going 2-27 and firing their coach every other year. And by doing that, whether it's net, RPI, and they'll all be pretty much similar.
Were you a fan of the RPI? I mean, what did you think?
Depends where we were ranked.
Right. Yeah, where you were.
I thought it was a way to measure like who's playing people. You know, and I think it was tough when I was at Xavier and we were in the Atlantic 10, because you'd beat a team that was maybe, you know, would win 6-7 games all year long, and you'd win at their place and you drop 15 spots. That's tough, but you know, when you're in the power conference, and again, you go through the schedule that we're playing, you don't have those opportunities that, despite winning, drag you down. So I do think teams that play, you know, each other, especially on the road, you know, we're one of very few teams in the country. It's in the Power 5 league that's played 2 road games already, and it rewards that type of competitive attitude.
McCoy said that his favorite 90s show is Friends. Do you plan on pulling him aside and teaching him the ways of Seinfeld to educate him a little bit?
You know, I found out that people that like really enjoy Friends and they never watch Seinfeld, they can't ever gain a true appreciation, because the first episode or the first year of Seinfeld isn't great, and then people get lost by the time they get to the end. It's just sort of a character reveal in that first year of episode. So I try to do that with my wife because she's a big Friends fan. But if you've seen them both, which I have, then I think you're more than.
It's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. You're more than able to have an objective feel.
Will you be taking the kids to Mary Poppins this week?
No, I didn't even know about it.
19th.
I didn't know about it.